Council Committee meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Reminder for council, please make sure your microphone is off and you speak clearly. The clerk, Angie, would you do a roll call, please?
Councilman Holtz. Councilman Curry.
Here.
Councilwoman King. Here. Councilman Mishler. Councilman Fish.
Here.
Councilwoman Hines. Here. Councilman Crabtree.
Here.
Councilman Hanky. President Dawson.
Thank you. Also present, we have Mike Huber and Drew from Economic Development. Mr. Huber.
Yeah, thanks, Council President. Thank you all for being here this evening for our special call meeting on tax abatements. For the last 12 months.
Before you do that,
Sure.
I need to read the special call. Is that right, Angie? Do I need to read it, or you want to? Okay. All right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you are hereby notified in accordance with power vested in me by the statute of the state of Indiana and ordinances of the city of Elkhart, Indiana. I hereby call a special meeting of the Common Council to be held in the municipal building in the city council chambers on the second floor, 229 South 2nd Street, Elkhart, Indiana, for Wednesday, the 10th day of July, 2024 at 6 p.m. The purpose of this meeting will be to consider whether certain property owners are in substantial compliance with their previously submitted statement of benefits forms for tax abatements from the city of Elkhart, and to take action upon the following proposed resolutions. Thank you. Mr. Huber.
Thanks. Thanks again for all of your attendance and being here to consider these resolutions this evening. As I was saying, for the last 12 months, the development services staff, with significant effort made by Drew Wines and our team, have been working to create new standardized operating procedures to better manage both the abatement application process and the CF1 compliance process that we're doing this evening. In its review of past compliance practices from previous staff in the department, we have identified some inconsistencies with how noncompliance was interpreted and managed. The statute establishes that companies must be in substantial compliance to receive benefits. It provides that the local designating body, you all, the City Council, have the authority to determine that compliance threshold to meet the statutory requirement of substantial compliance. It's not directly outlined in the statute. This allows the Council to consider the long-term impacts of the project investment levels and job and wage creation as defined in the project applications on the city's economy, along with local economic factors that may have affected their compliance levels. The City of Elkhart's MOA has established a compliance threshold of meeting 95% of the stated investment, job retention and creation, and wage goals determined through the application process. However, in practice, the Common Council has used 90% compliance threshold over the past few years. This 90% compliance threshold is in line with all of the other jurisdictions in the county, which has been the intent of having a countywide abatement application and compliance process. In fact, the 95% threshold could, in fact, make the city less competitive as a destination for new business development over other county jurisdictions by being more stringent than other communities. While determining compliance, the council can consider if they are satisfied with the progress of the project, if the company has made substantial efforts to be in compliance, and or if the company's noncompliance is due to factors outside of their control in cases where they don't meet that 90 to 95% compliance threshold. We are again presenting information this evening and recommendations tonight based on the 90% compliance threshold and are advocating amending the MOA for future phase-ins to reflect the 90% threshold. We're not advocating that tonight. We'll be bringing that to you in the future. Development services staff have also identified past inconsistencies with the process and the implications of the council finding a company in noncompliance. As a part of the new SOPs, staff will be bringing all active phase-ins to the council for a local determination of compliance tonight and in the future. Noncompliance procedures are outlined in the statute and include if a company fails to turn in a CF1 or turns in a non-compliant CF1, the city department staff reach out to the company to try to gain a full understanding of the factors leading to that noncompliance. At the tax abatement committee meeting, which we had previous to this, recommendations are made on compliance resolutions. Non-compliant companies have an opportunity in this meeting to explain the factors leading to their non-compliance to the committee prior to the recommendations. Compliance is officially determined by the council at the whole at tonight's meeting. The company will also be provided an opportunity to argue that they are in compliance or have made substantial efforts to be in compliance this evening. We've invited those companies to do that. If the council of the whole determines a company to be non-compliant this evening and has not made substantial efforts to be in compliance, a hearing is scheduled and notice must be mailed by the clerk's office to the company explaining their reasoning for the determination of non-compliance and the date, time, and place of a hearing to be further consider their compliance. That's outlined in the statute. If at the specified non-compliance hearing, the council again determines the company to be not in compliance and has not made reasonable efforts to comply, the designating body will adopt a new resolution at that meeting terminating the company's abatement. As noted, all findings of noncompliance will result in a termination of the ERA and the MOA in the same year as the finding of noncompliance. From our review of previous phase-ins, this has not always been the case, but we do believe that this is the correct interpretation of the statute related to findings of noncompliance, and we'll be carrying this process forward. The statute grants that the local designating body has the right to recapture previously received benefits based on a finding of noncompliance. However, our current MOA in use by the city provides that recapture only if businesses cease operations or fail to pay property taxes. Another proposed amendment to the MOA we'd like to bring forward in the future would be to add additional language allowing the city to recapture based on any findings of noncompliance. We wanted to take the time this evening to bring some clarity to this process because we have 9 companies that were found to be non-compliant based on either failure to submit CF1 documentation or failure to meet the established 90% compliance threshold for investment, wages, or jobs. Drew is going to present each of those individually, and he'll give you a brief summary of the individual situations related to each of those companies during those presentations. So I just wanted to make sure we all are on the same page, understanding both the process, kind of what we do, and how we're moving forward.
Mr. Fish, did you have a report from the Tax Abatement Committee?
So we met prior to the 4th of July and covered a lot of ground. I want to commend Drew for the tremendous amount of work and the organization that he put into this. And we clarified so much that I think tonight's meeting will be a very smooth operation. And you'll be clarifying some of the non-compliance as we move along for all of us here. So we don't have to dwell into any of that. It was a good meeting, and we clipped right along and took care of business forthwith. But I have a question for Mike. What is your time frame for changing some of the our standards and some of the...
So we're working with the legal department to manage those. We'd like to do it as soon as possible because we've got 2 pending new tax phase-ins, and we'd like... Sorry.
Before we get into questions. Yeah, we were getting ahead of ourselves.
Sorry.
Let's start with the resolution. We're going to start with...
Well, I'll withdraw that, and I think probably we should address it at a different time.
And we can address it as we move forward. I just want to get into that part of it before we start doing it. We're going to start with the companies that are non-compliant and then move on to the companies that are compliant. So, Drew. You want to go?
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
So let me, a point of reference here, we're going with our MOA of 95% tonight because that's what all these were founded on. Is that what we're saying?
So the documentation that was prepared for you this evening was based on what the following past practices established of the 90% compliance threshold, which is what the council has used the last 2 or 3 years at least. From what our research indicates, and which is consistent with what the county-wide other jurisdictions use to keep the level playing field. So what you see in the compliance levels in your binder are related to the 90% compliance.
Do we have something that has been passed by council that indicates 95%.
I don't know if, what I don't know, and that's a John question, is if the MOA establishing the 95 was passed by council. What I know is the statute allows the council flexibility to go below. In fact, we're not required to set
Yeah,
a
but if we
compliance standard.
don't know, because when these were set up, our understanding it was 95%, and that's what should have been given to the companies. And now we're saying, oh, we're dropping the threshold to 90%, and I think that takes a greater action than just saying the council has the right to do that.
That determination was made previously based on past practice. We're just
Well,
following past practice.
Based on
so.
practices, I think that the council was talked into. That's the problem with it. We talked about the precedents that was going to go forward, and here is the precedents.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to find out, what is the measure tonight that is used?
In the binders,
narrative.
it's measured against 90%. Correct.
Thank you. Drew?
Good evening, Council. Thank you so much for meeting with us tonight. So, American Technology Components.
Before you start, I need Angie to read the proposed resolution by title.
Proposed Resolution 24-R-21, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether American Technology Components Incorporated, ATC, 1127 Miles Avenue, LLC, are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and Memoranda of Agreement approved under Resolution numbers R-52-21, R-55-21, and R-56-21.
Thank you. I get a motion and a second to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Motion set by Mr. Fish, second by Mrs. Hines. Drew?
American Technology Components was approved in 2021. They hit it out of the park for real property investment. They had an $18 million investment on, their SB1 sided, $13 million. They are under for personal property. They're at 64%, and they're under for jobs added as well, and jobs retained. The company is confident that they are still within their ERA. They can still make personal property investments. They're eligible for abatement till December 31st, 24. They are confident that by that time they can make those personal property investments and can increase their jobs and wages and get those numbers up. They are heavy in the RV industry. That industry is down, but the company informed me and informed the committee they are confident that by next year they can submit a compliant CF1.
Questions? Mr. Hinkie?
We're not going in order of the book?
No, at the beginning,
We're
I
just, well, we still have
indicated
to
that,
pass compliance
at the
as well as-
beginning, I indicated how we would be doing it, Mr. Hinkie.
Sorry?
The non-compliant ones were the ones we were doing first. I said that
Okay.
earlier.
So on the 21s, I just noted some of the other, so we're still open in their 5-year detailed plan, so there's not a whole lot we get to do by compliance unless you've structured this MOA that would suggest they have to be 50% compliance at year 2, or did we do anything like that?
Not to my knowledge. Since they're still in their ERA, the council can determine they made substantial efforts to be in compliance and take the view that council is satisfied with the project or the progress of their project.
So if we're going to adopt what the county has done, the county uses thresholds. So at the end of year 1, you need to be, maybe it's, on a 5-year, at the end of year 2, you have to be at 25%, end of year 3, 50%. So we can hold the graduation there. Otherwise, they're getting tax abatements through the end. My concern and question would be about the clawback, which we'll go over at some other time, because we have to have the money back if you didn't reach compliance. All we're after is more, as much as I'd like to argue the number, I think I'd rather argue the consistency of our practice. So, notably, just on the first ones of compliance, those people hired 431, which made it 500 and some percent. So when other people cry they can't hire people, how did the other company do it? Reliance RV. So that's all I was after. They're open, there's not a lot we can do here.
Thank you. Mr. Curry.
Yeah, looking at this, Mr. President, they did exceed their real property goal, but the personal property, like Drew said, was down 62%. But I did have an opportunity to attend the committee meeting and hear what they had to say. And in my notes, it said they will meet their goal.
The company is confident they can meet their goal.
Thank you. Mr. Fish.
And just for the record, I've been on tax abatement committee for as long as I've been a councilman, and we've never set a threshold, just for the record. We've normally just let their time frame, whether it be 1, 3, 5 years, that's what we work within. So we're not setting a precedent here. The only thing that we've got wiggle room on is the 90 versus the 95%. So.
Mr. Hinkie.
Agreed, but I'm just saying, since Mr. Huber said we're trying to get a county-wide, that's how the county practices, and I think that we've talked to both, and we think that's a good practice. But in the meantime, if I may make a,
As long as it's pertaining to this resolution, because I think what we're doing is now
I
we're
move to
talking
adopt
policy.
proposed resolution 24R21, finding that they are in substantial compliance in both proper, personal and real property.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by Ms. Hines. Council discussion. Seeing none, Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Wait, stop. I'm looking around the public. We haven't let the public speak. We haven't let
Ma'am,
the
you want to
public
step
speak.
up?
Is there anyone in the audience that knows what we're talking about that would like to speak or online? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Angie, would you
Now,
do?
would you like me to just start over?
Yes, would you do a roll call vote,
Councilman
please?
Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
Okay, would you?
Yes, Mr. President, if I may, they also offered to give us a tour of the plant.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Curry. Proposed Resolution 24-R-25. Angie, would you read that by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-25, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Marine Realty LLC, DBA Bennington Marine South, are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits and the memoranda of agreement approved under Resolution numbers R-44-22, R-48-22, and R-49-22.
Can I get a motion and a second, Mr. Hinkie? Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mr. Fish. Council discussion. Mr. Hinkie.
Yeah, same argument, same compliance. They're still within their compliance year, correct?
Yes, their ERA ends at the end of this year, just like ATC.
So in that particular case, I move to adopt proposed ordinance 24R25 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with personal property.
Second.
We've got a motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mrs. Hines.
I'm sorry, it's real property?
Wait a minute. Drew wanted to say something.
I was just going to say that that's real property.
It's real property, David.
Yeah, it's real
Okay.
property.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this resolution? I'm going to have to say that, so remind me, as I'm looking out there. Saying none, I'm going to return it back to the council floor. Any other discussion? Seeing none, Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Are you sure this time I can go ahead?
Yes,
All right.
I got you.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Would you please read proposed resolution 24-R-22 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-22, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Big Dog Adhesives LLC, 435 Properties LLC, and 615 Properties LLC are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits, Personal Property, and the Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-19-21, R-23-21, and R-24-21.
I get a motion and a second to adopt this resolution.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mrs. Hines. Council discussion. Mr. Hinkie?
So my understanding is unless anything has changed with Big Dog adhesives, that they did not submit a CF1?
They did not submit a CF1. We have communicated with the company. They were unable to complete their project. They never received any benefit, and we recommend finding them in noncompliance.
So I would make the recommendation that adopt the proposed resolution R24R22 with the finding that the property owner is not in substantial compliance with personal property.
Motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mr. Curry. Public hearing? Seeing no one in the audience, turn it back to the council. Any more discussion? Seeing none. Angie, would you do a roll?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-27 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-27, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Champion Manufacturing, Inc., CR17 Land Development, LLC, are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and Memoranda of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-41-19, R-42-19, and R-43-19.
Thank you. Can I get a
Motion to
motion?
adopt.
So
Motion
moved.
by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mr. Crabtree. Council,
Ms. Hines.
sorry, I said Mr. Crabtree.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. Drew.
So Champion Manufacturing left.
It was me.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right.
Champion Manufacturing left Elkhart in 2023. We are, since they've ceased operations, we are able to claw back. We have prepared a clawback letter. At this time, we recommend council finds them in noncompliance. Then at a later date, we will terminate their phase-in, send them the clawback letter. They will, once we send that letter, they'll have 30 days to schedule a meeting with city staff if they disagree with the termination and the finding that they should. We are seeking repayment. If they agree to the terms, then 30 days from the date of the agreement, they owe us that money, and it's the amount as of right now is $165,934. $165,934.
1,000.
Yes. Yes.
165,
934.
934. Mr. Hinkie.
So that would be one of my questions that I would like to come back to after this discussion, and that is the clawback. And I'm unaware that we can only claw back if a company no longer exists or shuts down. So does this company have other operations somewhere else?
They moved their operation to Florida, I believe. I think they may have already had a location there, but their Elkhart plant shut down.
Okay, so we do have a place to claw back to and actually take a lien against the Florida property should it come to that.
I can certainly double check those details, but right now in our MOAs, we allow for a clawback if there is cessation, announcement of cessation, or if they become delinquent or default in any tax payment in Elkhart County. We plan going forward to bring a resolution modifying the MOAs, allowing for noncompliance to be a fourth category.
How do we force clawback? There's got to be legal action.
They are. I would certainly defer to John Esper on those details in our legal department. However, I believe that if they don't pay within 30 days, in the MOAs it states that they must pay our attorney's fees. But I would certainly defer to our legal department on those details.
Is John online?
I see him there.
Did you hear the question, John? Well, at some point, I think that's a great question that,
165,000,
Yeah.
there should be a way to attach,
Yeah,
or they got
no,
their
so,
abatement.
yes, we will go through the county, through the legal process and with working with the county auditor's office to ensure that that we are in fact reimbursed for the taxes, correct?
thank you.
John, or
Yeah, that's David.
So I think, did I already make okay, may I?
no, yes,
Okay.
and I'll second it.
I move to adopt a proposed resolution number, sorry,
24R27.
24R27 with the finding that the property owner is not in substantial compliance with real or personal property and request a clawback.
Second,
I know she did, but Angie, was that the second motion that we made? Yes, I thought it was. You'd already made the motion, David, and I said Mr. Crabtree, and it was so, yeah, we just,
What he said.
yeah.
what he said.
So I need to open up to the public now. Is there anyone in the public? Seeing none, we turn it back to the council floor. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King,
Yes.
Councilman Fish,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines,
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson,
Aye.
7-0.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah. We're not going to need you after all, John, on that question.
Angie, would you read proposed resolution 24-R-28 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-28, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether CTS Corporation are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-03-19, R-04-19, and R-05-19.
I get a motion and a second to adopt this
Motion to
resolution.
adopt.
Got a motion from Mr.
Second?
Hinkie, a second from Mr. Fish. Council discussion. Seeing none, Mr. Drew.
So CTS Corporation is in the final year of their phase-in. They haven't turned in a CF1 in years. We recommend that they are non-compliant and will be terminated at a future council date. And this is the final year of their phase-in, so they are done.
Mr. Hinkie.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R28 with the finding that the property owner is not in substantial compliance with personal property and request a clawback.
I got a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mr. Curry. Council discussion. Seeing none, open up to the public. Anyone in the public? Seeing none, turn to the council. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King,
Yes.
Councilman Fish,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines,
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson,
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you please read proposed ordinance 24-R-31 by title, please?
Please don't skip over Dexter Wheel Company. There's no
one?
resolution for that, but Drew does need to talk about it.
Okay, thank you. Dexter Will Company, true.
So Dexstar has failed to submit a CF1 the last 3 years. We have reached out to the company. They have agreed to termination. We are just final. They just need to sign an agreement, confirming that they're willing to terminate, and then we will bring that to council at a future date, and that should be a one and done resolution. Trimlock is, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Trimlock is in a very similar situation.
Mr. Hinkie?
Move to adopt proposed resolution number,
I don't know
No.
whatever that is.
that we need to do that.
We don't even need to do that because there is no resolution to
There is no
adopt.
I wondered
resolution
why
for
we
it.
didn't have a cover sheet on
Yes,
this
there
one.
is no resolution for it, so we just need to make sure we have that and have public hearing, so if anybody in the
We have
audience.
to take action for it to actually stop.
Yes.
Better put that on the record.
Council has to take action to actually affirmatively stop the process.
So that's correct. So as we mentioned earlier in the standard operating procedures, we will have we have to notify of the noncompliance. We will have a noncompliance hearing where all of those motions for the noncompliance, for the findings of noncompliance, will actually be termination resolutions, terminating. So we're not finding them in noncompliance tonight. We're just bringing the termination at the future meeting for both this one and Trimlock. So they will be terminated when we have the next meeting.
So can I ask the question, why does this not have a resolution face page?
We have an agreement with the companies to sign off on the termination. So we didn't bring them forward as non-compliance because they've already agreed in principle to sign off on the terminations.
But did council take action to grant,
With working with legal department, they indicated that in this case, we wouldn't need to do the non-compliance finding in order to take it to the termination. We can just take a termination because they've agreed in writing to termination.
not sure why we
The
wouldn't.
the
do
other
it just like
companies
all the
haven't,
others,
so.
But I'm not sure why we would be inconsistent. The other is in the same condition. They agreed, just like CTS and others, that they're not.
So we didn't get confirmation from CTS or Big Dog Adhesives that they agreed to termination. So we had to find them in noncompliance. Because these companies agreed previous to having the termination, they're in a different category. And so we're only bringing termination in the future.
Good. Thank you. Angie, would you read proposed resolution 24-R-31 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-31, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Playcon Corporation are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and Memoranda of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-14-20, R-27-20, and R-28-20.
Thank you. Council discussion. Mr. Drew.
So Playcon Corporation is under for new jobs hired. They are confident. Their industry is down right now. They're confident that they can bounce back in Q3 and Q4 of this year. They've also been compliant the last 2 years, and they hit out of the park with real and personal property investment. So we recommend, and the committee did as well, that they are in compliance.
Thank you, Drew. Anyone in the audience would like to speak with regards to this? Okay, now we turn it back to the council. Can I get the appropriate motion?
I move I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R31 with the finding that the company Playcon is in substantial compliance.
There's a second.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You said in substantial compliance?
They are in compliance. In substantial compliance with its benefit forms and memorandum of agreement approved under resolution.
Motion, there's a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Fish. David.
So why are these folks listed in the non-compliant?
They are under for new jobs hired. They're at 70. They're at 70%. The committee did recommend that they are in compliance.
Okay, so it's simply that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because they have a 7-year real, 7-year personal, and then they're really not outside their window yet as far as jobs.
They we evaluate jobs every year.
Yeah, so even though they may be out of compliance for the moment, they have till 2027.
They are very confident that they can bounce back in Q3 and Q4 of this year.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Open up to the public. Is anyone in the public? Seeing none, turn it back to the council. Any council? Seeing none. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Trimlock, Inc. There's no resolution for this company. Drew.
Trimlock Inc. is in the same situation as Dexstar. They have agreed to termination, and there will be a single resolution at a later date confirming their termination.
Thank you. Mr. Hinkie. David.
It says the city will move to terminate their phase-in July 1 council meeting.
We are now planning to do that at a later council meeting. Our goal was August 5th for officially termination.
And again, I trust that it's going to happen. I just want to make sure it's decisive and that we do terminate. Okay.
Any other council discussion? Seeing none. Angie, would you read proposed resolution 24-R-33 by title, please?
Proposed resolution 24-R-33, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether FF U.S. Acquisitions Corp., DBA Tuscany Motor Company, TLMTG Properties LLC are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits forms and memorandum of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-50-18, R-53-18, and R-54-18.
Thank you. Council discussion. Drew.
Tuscany Motor Company is non-compliant for retained jobs. However, they hit out of the park with real property investment and new jobs hired and wages. All those factors are compliant. They noted on the administrative level they had some folks leave that affect their retained jobs numbers, but all other categories they're compliant, and so we recommend they are in compliance for real property. There was an issue with their personal property. They have not turned in a personal property CF1 since 2021, and at our committee meeting, I failed to recommend to council that we should find them in non-compliance for personal property, but we are recommending we find them in compliance for real property.
Okay. Mr. Hinkie.
Do they have an explanation for the jobs not created?
So their new jobs hired is compliant for the retained jobs being under. They said there was a lot of folks at the admin level that left, and that contributed. And also they're in the automotive industry, and the strikes last year they said affected things as well.
Thank you.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-33, finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance for real property, is not in substantial compliance for personal property or job creation.
Thank you.
Second.
The motion from Mr. Hinkie, second from Mrs. Hines. Let me open it up for public first. Open up to the public. Say no one in public. Mr. Hinkie. David.
How are we going to split this out then? I mean, that is uncustomary for us as well. Usually you're in compliance with all or none. So how does this get split out as a tax credit?
Since there's separate memorandums of agreement, I do believe on the resolution there's an option for being in substantial compliance for real property and being in substantial compliance for personal property.
Okay. And personal was on its own resolution number. Okay.
They're on the same compliance resolution, but the two projects have separate memorandums of agreement, and they are respected from one another. However, the compliance resolution has the option to mark in compliance for personal or in compliance for real.
We've not done that before, so I just wanted to follow up and make sure that there was a process in place.
Absolutely. I would like to note in 2021, this company, Tuscany, they were non-compliant for personal property and compliant for real, and on that resolution, it was marked this way.
Seeing none? We do the public? All right. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. That concludes the companies that are not in compliance. We are now going to move on to the companies that are in compliance. Angie, would you read proposed resolution 24-R-18 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-18, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Alliance RV LLC, Three Creek LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memoranda of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-08-21, R-13-21, and R-14-21.
Thank you. Can I get a-
Motion to adopt.
Okay. Got a motion by Mr. Inky, a second by Ms. Sines for adoption. Is there anyone in the audience? Close the public hearing, return it back to the council. Anyone in the council? Mr. Hinkie.
I just want to point out some numbers, just for us to understand. Personal property, 382% of compliance. It's unfortunate that they don't get credit for above the 1,580,000 that they had planned on, but the 85 jobs turned into 443, 521% compliant. Oh, and with that, sorry, the whole point, I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R18, finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with real and personal property.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mr. Curry. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak? Seeing none, return it back to the council. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King. Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines. Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-17 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-17, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Alliance RV LLC, Three Creek LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memoranda of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-08-19, R-09-19, and R-10-19.
Motion to adopt.
We got it.
Second.
All right, now give me the whole spiel. So we can,
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm just adopting so we can move on
we don't
to,
have to do that. We just make one motion. I was out of order when I was asking for adoption before. And then, yeah. So council discussion, that's where we are
as long
now.
as we know that you were out of order.
Yes, thank you. I was out of order. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Drew, do you have anything? All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Hinkie, could we get that motion?
Well, again, there are those. The only thing I question is Alliance's 175 new jobs for the project, and they had exactly 175 new jobs. That's unusual to have a perfect match there. Everything else looks quite grand. In compliance, so I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R17 and find them in substantial compliance with real personal and job creation, real personal property and job creation.
Motion by Mr. Hinkie,
I will second that.
second by Mr. Fish. Open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak? Seeing none, close the public hearing, return it back to the council. No council discussion. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King. Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines. Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-19 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-19, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Alpha Systems LLC, DBS LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memoranda of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-43-20, R-44-20, and R-45-20.
Thank you. Council discussion. Seeing none, I open up to the public. Drew, were you moving to say something, or you just, all right. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak? Seeing none, return it back to the council. Can I get Mr. Hinkie?
Just again, I'm looking at these impressive compliance numbers, just for future reference, and then the question would be, if we stayed with 95% compliance, these people would all still be in. So us moving it down only helps that set that are non-compliant. It really doesn't add anything to our numbers besides give them credit for being less than. And so, with that in mind, I think the trend's going to be that people are going to up their numbers by 10% so they get greater, stay within that 10% margin. That's what I would do to get a greater benefit. But I just wanted to say 194%, 187%, and 132% compliance. That 90 to 95% means nothing to all of these companies. And it's phenomenal that they can do it all, and yet there's others that miss the mark. Thank you for that.
Can I get a motion?
I move to adopt proposed resolution, 24R19, finding that they are in substantial compliance with real property, personal property, and job creation.
Got a motion by Mr. Hinkie. Second by Mrs. Hines. We have the council discussion. Seeing none, Angie, would you do a roll?
Public. Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, got it, sorry. Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. Angie?
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King,
Yes.
Councilman Fish. Yes. Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-20 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-20, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether American Millwork LLC, Nickel Properties 1 LLC are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits, personal property, and the memorandum of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-07-21, R-11-21, and R-12-21.
Thank you. Council discussion. Seeing none, I'll open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public? Seeing none, we turn it back to the council. Council discussion or motion? Mr. Hinkie.
Move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R20, finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with personal property and job creation, just personal property, sorry.
Has ever got a motion by
I'll
Mr.
second that.
Hinkie, second by Mr. Fish. Angie, would you do a roll call vote on the adoption?
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-23? 4? Is that 24?
No, I got 23.
23, okay. That's what I thought. Read that by title, please.
It's 24.
Done 23, yeah.
You skipped a page. You should be on page 14 of your script.
I'm on page 14, but I just got confused because it's 24, the next one was 23, and I was like,
Yeah, they're,
that's what threw me off. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Or 24, since I said 24. Okay. Would you read that by title?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-24, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether EOZ Business LLC are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits and the memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-37-20, R-39-20, and R-40-20.
Thank you. Council discussion. Seeing none, I'm going to open up to the public. Is there anyone in public that would like to speak? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, returning it back to the council. Mr. Hinkie.
Move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R24, finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with real property.
second.
Motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by Ms. Hines. Council discussion. Seeing none, Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-23 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-23, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Flexible Concepts, Inc. are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits, personal property, and the memorandum of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-51-21, R-57-21, and R-58-21.
Thank you. Any council discussion? Seeing none, I'll open up to the public. Any public discussion? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, return back to the council. Mr. Hinkie?
Move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R23, finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with a personal property and job creation.
Thank you. Motion by Mr.
Second.
Hinkie, second by Mr. Crabtree. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you please read proposed resolution 24-R-29 by title, please?
Proposed resolution 24-R-29, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Chemcrest LLC, La Isla Bonita Properties LLC are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits forms and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-47-16, R-49-16, and R-50-16.
Thank you. Council discussion? Mr. Hinkie?
So Chemcrest has not submitted a CF1.
They did submit a CF1. Is your binder missing a CF1?
It says to receive benefits, they must, so you do have one?
So that was for 22 pay 23. So a couple years ago, we did not receive a CF1 from Chemcrest, and the county did, and we did a waiver of noncompliance last fall, so they could receive benefits going forward. And so next year, to receive those benefits for 22 pay 23, they have to submit a CF1 and go through the process next year.
So you're saying they're in compliance because it went to the county, didn't come to us?
So that was from 2022. So that note on the cover memo is just in regards to the length of their phase-in. So those are all details for next year. This year they submit a CF1. They were in compliance.
Okay. So we've had that discussion with them, and that's cleared, that they are submitting it to the city for compliance. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Could I get a motion, please? I did do the public. Yes, I did. It's council, public, back to the council, motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R29, finding that Chemcrest is in substantial compliance with real and personal property and job creation.
Second. Motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by Mr. Crabtree. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, was the second Mr. Crabtree?
Pardon?
Was the second Chad on that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Does he have his badge on? No, he doesn't.
He does not, so I don't know who he is.
Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-30 by title, please?
Proposed resolution 24-R-30, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Marsan International LLC are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits forms and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-04-22, R-06-22, and R-07-22.
Thank you. Council discussion? Seeing none, open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public has anything? Seeing none, close the public hearing, return it back to the council. Ms. King.
Impressive numbers, finding.
Wait. Mr. Kinky, I said Ms. King.
Oh, I'm sorry. Impressive numbers.
A motion by Mrs.
Second.
King, second by Mrs. Hines. Council discussion. Seeing none, Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King. Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky. President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-26 by title, please?
Proposed resolution 24-R-26, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether TP Sanitary Supply, Inc., T5 LLC are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-50-20, R-54-20, and R-55-20.
Thank you. Any council discussion? Seeing none, open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public? Seeing no one in public, I'll close the public hearing, return it back to the council. Mr. Hinkie?
Well, this is one of those, you know, they were granted extensions, there was a buyout. I disagreed, you know, with what we did. This was in 2020 with a 3-year phase-in, so that would have ended and had been done by now. They were at 89.4% on real property. How do we explain they don't even meet the 90% threshold?
So we look at the long-term impacts of this project and how there's a huge increase in assessed value at that location, and we also consider the city is better off because that $1.2 million investment took place and those jobs were hired and that they were so close. I believe they were $7,000 short of being at 90%. So those were the factors we considered in our recommendation for compliance.
Additionally, just to add on to what Drew said, last year when this was up for discussion, TP had representatives at the meeting. They indicated that part of the rationale here was this was going into COVID. They anticipated their estimated costs, not knowing what those numbers were going to be, looking at potential inflated numbers for costs given supply chain issues. However, they were able to get the project in and delivered under that budget. So, by $7,000. So I think at that time, the council took those factors into consideration as well.
Remember that conversation, I do, when they were here. Any other council? Seeing none, I need a motion on proposed resolution.
Move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R26 with the finding that the owner is, that TP Sanitary is in substantial compliance with the statements of benefit form for personal property.
Thank you. There's a motion by Mrs. Hines. There's a second.
Was it real property? I'm sorry, real property.
Thank you. There's a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Fish. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
At
Mr.
some
Hickey.
point, guys, if we're accepting 89% and all that, again, I look at what other companies were able to do in the same time period and the same COVID that everybody else had. And if we're not going to hold numbers, I'm not sure why we bring this process forward. If we always have an excuse, 89%, regardless how small it is, they had control of the numbers, we didn't. Is their expenditure, not ours. So they could have expended that level of money, and we even gave them an open window to become compliant. It was such a savings, they sold. They have a new owner. So it may have helped their ownership by this, but it sure didn't help the city because, quite honestly, it's the fairness of the process that is the value, and they did not meet compliance. So it's unfair to those companies that were compliant. I can't support it.
Thank you. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish. Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
No.
President Dawson.
No.
6-1.
5-2. 5-2.
This is a no.
5-2. I was a no.
Oh, sorry, 5-2. I didn't hear you say no.
Okay.
Agree. I'm glad to see y'all agree on something.
Did we agree?
Makes sense.
I think you agree.
Proposed resolution 24-R-32. Angie, would you read this in its entirety, please?
In its entirety or just the title only?
I'll just see if you were paying attention.
I'm paying attention. We are all out of sorts tonight, I'm telling you.
No, this agenda's just been different tonight. Would you read it by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-32, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Truma Corp. 42K Real Estate LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-04-18, R-09-18, and R-10-18.
Thank you. Any council discussion? Seeing none, I'll open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, return to the council floor. Mr. Hinkie?
Move to adopt proposed resolution number 24R32, finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with both real and personal property as well as job creation.
Got a motion by Mr. Hinkie,
Second.
second by Mr. Crabtree. Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hanky.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. Could I get a motion for adjournment?
Yep.
Got a motion by Mr. Hinkie, second by who?
Second.
By Mr.
Point of order.
Fish. Yes, sir. That was a motion to adjourn, right? You didn't have anything else to say?
I want to thank, for all the work put into this. This has been the best book in 22 years. So
Wow.
thank you for that. I just think
Thank you guys so much. It means a
it
lot.
made the process so
He hadn't dropped
much
the other shoe yet. You can be
more
clapping.
understandable, number one. Number two, I believe that we should recycle these books so you don't have to recreate everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilor Hanky. I really appreciate it. And Councilor Hines,
Can I
thank
get a
you.
motion
Thank
for
you guys.
adjournment?
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Crabtree, second by Mr. Fish. We are adjourned.
It's going so smooth.